Guys, welcome to another jam-packed powerhouse astrological energetic activation day. We got a whole bunch of stuff happening simultaneously again. There is a three-part conjunction going on in Capricorn: Mercury, Venus retrograde, and Pluto. We also have a moon in Scorpio today opposing Uranus, squaring Saturn. Saturn-Uranus square back in the news today. We also have planets changing signs, planets changing degrees. We have a Sun Chiron square going on, the hero's journey activated, a whole bunch of energy coming at us today. Definitely major themes though of regeneration, transformation, breakthrough for sure. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Wednesday, December 29th, 2021. My name is Aubrey and this is your astrological outlook of the day, and I don't even know where to begin today because there is just so much going on. Let me list off all the aspects to get started, and then I'm just going to start going through them one by one. I suppose that would probably be the best way to do it. So first of all, we have an exact Mercury-Venus conjunction today, and that is also in a very close, within a 1-degree orb conjunction to Pluto as well. So we basically have a three-part conjunction going on in the sky today, some pretty big business. We also have, like I said, the moon in Scorpio today, going to come into an exact opposition and square to Saturn and Uranus. So again, like I already said, that square very much being reactivated today, although Uranus is changing degrees, retrograding back to 11 degrees of Taurus, breaking the exact to the degree square between these two planets. So we got that as well. We also have the sun in a square to Chiron, Mars in a sextile to Saturn, and you guys, we have Jupiter changing signs. Jupiter is moving to Pisces for real this time. A few months back, before Jupiter went retrograde, Jupiter made his entrance into Pisces, but then retrograded back into Aquarius. But now, as of today, we have Jupiter moving to the first degree of Pisces, where he will stay in his direct motion, now on course to make a big conjunction with Neptune in Pisces coming up in 2022, in the spring of 2022. So we've got that business that's about to start building and being activated by Jupiter's presence in Pisces. So all of those things today, I'm going to try to, I have a lot to say, obviously, since we have all of these aspects going on. So I'm going to try to move quickly through this and reiterate less, if that's possible for me. So that's my plan. Let's see if we can get through this in the 30 minutes. And we also got a very interesting tarot message that came out this morning, so I would like to get through that as well. So let's see how well I do. So first things first, today is a day of shifts, regeneration, transformation, conflict, and breakthrough. We have some turning point energy in effect today for sure. Lots going on. Let's get started talking about the 3-planet conjunction that we have going on in Capricorn, all within 1 degree, Venus and Mercury being exact. This is between, like I said, Mercury, our messenger planet, ruling our mind, Venus, currently retrograde, ruling our heart. And considering that she's retrograde at this point in time, generally, all of us collectively, as a result of Venus retrograde, we're all really reevaluating what we truly love, what we desire, and what we really value. But she is in this mix as well. And then Pluto, Lord of the Underworld, also ruling like power in all of its forms, and balances of power, abuses of power, any type of power, very prominent right now as a result of Pluto's presence in this 3-part conjunction. So just to reiterate, I said I wasn't going to reiterate, but I am going to reiterate a little bit of what I talked about yesterday, because I did, if you saw my report for yesterday, I did begin to speak, well, it's not beginning. I've been talking about the Venus-Pluto saga for quite a while now, but I did talk about this 3-part aspect a little bit and how it can have a tendency to be more cruel in nature. It can really bring up there's cruelty generally that can be associated with Venus and Pluto and Mercury as well in a square together. But at its core, you guys, this aspect is really trying to deeply transform both our mind and our heart. And this is happening, of course, right now with Venus retrograde anyways, as we are reevaluating what we truly value and what we truly love and desire. But with Mercury and Venus in the conjunction with Pluto, this is us like really transforming on a mental level and on a heart-based level what we value, what we want, what we desire, and the nature of our thoughts and how we think and how we use the power of our minds. All of this being deeply purged, purified, regenerated, transformed right now with these 3 planets in conjunction with each other in Capricorn. This is also trying to, as we develop this new relationship to ourselves in alignment with our authentic value and what we know that we deserve, this is really kind of pushing us to rectify anything that has been keeping us from achieving that alignment and really coming back into this new relationship in terms of our own self-worth, our own self-love, and again, how we are using our minds, how we are using our thoughts, and the role that these things are playing in what we are creatively and actively manifesting in our lives. And it's interesting too, because over this entire Sagittarius cycle, there's been this definite theme of, the black moon and Mercury really shining some light into like the deep recesses of our psyche and helping us to gain a much more conscious awareness of the subconscious forces and faculties of our mind and how they've been operating behind the scenes of things and maybe not producing necessarily the results or the outcomes that our conscious mind would really like. And being able to like see and discover where and how that is happening and resolve it in some type of a way so that we can truly start becoming the masters of our own minds as we go through this energetic and vibrational shift into the age of Aquarius. This whole mental change, this mental shift, this mental awareness has been a definite facet of this. And this is definitely coming to the forefront, gaining a highlight today in the conjunction with Pluto, talking about rectifying the power of our own mind and our own heart and taking back the power of our own mind and our own heart as well. Let's talk about the Sabian symbols for a second, you guys. This conjunction is happening between 25 and 26 degrees of Capricorn. Now, the Sabian symbols, what these are is a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever we have a planet at a specific degree, discharging a degree, making an aspect, we can look to the Sabian symbol, and it just gives us an extra layer of clarity in terms of understanding what this aspect is actually doing for us in the context of this grand unfolding astrological saga that is constantly and perpetually carrying us through time and space. And so I always look at the Sabian symbols because again, they help us understand more clearly what role this aspect is playing in the story of what's going on and what's unfolding right now. And so with 25 degrees of Capricorn, where Mercury and Venus are conjoining today, that degree is what is that degree? That degree is a store filled with precious oriental rugs. And this is really talking about recognizing the truth of the value that we hold inside of us, the resources, the precious resources that we hold inside of us and their value and how we can use that to create value in abundance externally by what we are serving to others based on what we hold inside of us. And really, that is this entire shift. All the energy that's going on right now is really trying to help us to do and to come back into a greater awareness of, so that we can take advantage of it and begin to live from that place going forward, so that we can unplug from the matrix and not be so reliant on external power sources to fuel us as we have been potentially in the past up until this point. So that, 25 degrees of Capricorn where that is occurring is pretty telling. And then we have Pluto, 26 degrees of Capricorn. This is a nature spirit dancing in the midst of a waterfall. And this is talking all about like personal empowerment and purification and the liberation to be able to, express yourself freely and to, really just stand in your truth, and it's healing and it's purifying and it's cleansing all of these things that are really happening to our energy body right now as we go through this shift. So I feel like these 2 degrees are really telling us that this aspect, this 3-part conjunction is trying to bring us back into a greater understanding of the truth of the value that we hold inside of us, the resources that represents for us to be able to truly purify and cleanse ourselves of the things from the past, our fears and the things that we've been chained to that have not been good for us and that have been holding us back and stealing our power, all of these Pluto-oriented things, cleansing ourselves, purifying ourselves so that we can come into the liberation to stand in our own true self-empowerment. And that's kind of how I always, read like nature spirits and fairies and stuff like that is very free and self-empowered beings who are in touch with their own conscious creative potential and the ability that that has to in a way create magic in this reality. And I think that that is really what we are coming back into touch with as well as we go through this process. So these Sabian symbols seem to be quite telling as well, considering the aspects and what this is pushing for. This is also giving us a much greater sense, like I said, of the power that we hold in our mind and our heart to be the generator of our own value and our own happiness, and therefore also what we must stop surrendering to and take our power back from so that we can do this. Very potent. This is another dynamic of this energy, you guys. Mercury and Venus and Pluto together, very, 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 very potent manifestation energy represented by these three forces through aligning vibrationally in the mind's eye with the heart's true desires, and then using our conscious thought and our imagination with intention to auto program our own subconscious mind, to reprogram our own subconscious mind so that that powerful creative force, which is what the subconscious mind is, can manifest these true heart's desires into our physical reality through the creative laws of this reality, which we are coming back into like a greater understanding of now, and are really going to be playing a much more powerful and prominent role in our experiences going forward. I also want to say, you guys, this is a really good time to, if you're not familiar with it, to make yourself familiar with it, or to just like kind of introduce any concepts that are the authors, okay? Earl Nightingale, Florence Scovel-Shinn, Napoleon Hill, Neville Goddard, Manly P. Hall, all of these great thinkers, philosophers, spiritualists of the past. Their wisdom really held a lot of relevance then and, always, but now, especially as we're going through this vibrational shift, the ideas presented by these thinkers of the past are really the foundation that we need to be working with and learning about as we make this energetic and vibrational shift and begin moving into the Aquarian paradigms. Because what these thinkers were speaking of in their writings, 100 years ago, these are really the things that are being applicable now. And they were not, widely, they were, but we kind of lost touch with them, or they never rose to the level of collective prominence to really saturate the collective consciousness that was needed at that point in time, of course, because we were in the Pisces paradigm. But now that we're in the age of Aquarius paradigm, the wisdom presented by these authors and thinkers of the past is definitely, having a very strong and significant it's what we need right now to help us understand how to interact with the energy moving forward. So I definitely recommend, if you are not familiar with any of those authors, there's audiobooks all over YouTube. Definitely familiarize yourself, if you can, with some of their writings or teachings or perceptions and ways of perceiving reality and thinking, because it can be really beneficial to us at this point in time. And especially today, this energy that we are in, very, very, very powerful for using the tools that these authors spoke of in terms of using our thoughts to materially manifest in our reality. This is what we're moving towards. These people knew about it back then. It was not collectively embraced in the way that it probably would have behooved us to be, but it just wasn't the right energy then. But now it is. So yes, Earl Nightingale, Florence Scovel-Shinn, Neville Goddard, Napoleon Hill, Manly P. Hall. There's more, but those are just some of my favorites. So highly recommend, because that can really be beneficial in terms of mindset and just a greater awareness and understanding of what's actually going on right now. But ultimately, this energy, like I said, Venus, Mercury, Pluto, it can tend towards harshness and cruelty and definitely has its painful side, but it's pushing us to free our hearts and our minds from the limits that we have created for ourselves out of feelings of fear and feelings of lack. This is purifying our minds and our hearts as well. This is another aspect, you guys, of the Great Awakening. And speaking of that, now let's move on to talk about our very active Uranus today. We have a very active Uranus today. Uranus is our Great Awakening planet. So that was sort of my transition into the next aspect. But let's talk about it. So I said we have the moon in Scorpio today. Now remember, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, who is in the conjunction with Mercury and Venus today. So that whole conjunction is really kind of wrapped up in this next aspect that I'm going to be talking about as well. But the moon in Scorpio setting up in an opposition to Uranus and Taurus, therefore also making the square to Saturn and Uranus, definitely reactivating this Saturn-Uranus square that was the big news last week. It's been the big news of the year. We had our third and final climax of the year last Friday on Christmas Eve of this energy. But today, with the moon forming the opposition in the square, this is definitely again putting a highlight on this energy. This is the Great Awakening energetic, though. It is the energetic of the year that has been doing the most to crack us through into this new paradigm. And there may be a lot of tension or conflict going on today in terms of the things that we are trying to break away from or free ourselves from at this point in time. Again, definitely on center stage, gaining some prominence today, highlighted conflict and tension for sure. Relationships and financial issues, things may be hitting the fan today, to put it mildly. Or though breakthroughs may be finally starting to happen in these areas as a result of what has been going on this past whole year, but specifically this past week, ever since the full moon. And we might be finally getting to the point where breakthroughs are really starting to occur now. Or again, it could just be more of that tension, more of that conflict pushing to make these breakthroughs happen. But with the moon there, it is quite likely. The moon in Scorpio wants us to heal and transform and solve root issues and problems. This is deep and profound feelings which may be driving all of this that's going on today. And again, with the moon in Scorpio, this is referencing what's going on with Pluto in the conjunction with Mercury and Mars. Or Mercury and Venus. So whatever is going on, whatever comes with this Mercury, Venus, Pluto conjunction today could be triggering some really deep feelings that are really driving us to break free from something that we feel like is not good for us or is restricting us or is just holding us back from our authentic truth in some type of a way. And with Uranus being hyperactivated today, Uranus is very activated today. That always brings shocks, surprises, expect the unexpected, always come when we have an activated Uranus. And I say Uranus is hyperactivated today because not only is Uranus in the square to Saturn and being triggered by the opposition to the moon, but Uranus is also moving retrograding degrees today, moving to 11 degrees of Taurus, which makes this an extra active Uranus day. Uranus is a very slow moving planet. When Uranus changes degrees, this is definitely going to put a highlight on the Uranian energy as well. But 11 degrees of Taurus, where Uranus is moving today, this Sabian symbol is a woman sprinkling long rows of flowers in her garden. I believe that's what it says. A woman sprinkling long rows of flowers. That's what it is. So, with Uranus now moving to this degree, we are nurturing and cultivating and watering our own inner gardens and the beauty and abundance that can grow from them. Uranus, you guys remember, Uranus is still retrograde. Uranus is one of the only planets that's still retrograde at this point in time. So this Great Awakening energy, even though it's been so active and so triggered, it really is still quite internalized. Most of these shifts are still happening in a very internal level. But with Uranus at this degree, we are watering our gardens and we are nurturing their growth. And this is growth in alignment with authentic truth and being free to grow whatever flower we truly hold inside of us. We are not trying to be like anybody else's flower anymore, you guys. We are becoming very proud of our own unique, individual, beautiful flower and the unique abilities that that one specific flower has to contribute something unique and special to the greater good and to the greater whole. That is the whole Aquarian vibe. So very active Uranus day, like I said, shocks, surprises, things happening out of the blue for sure. But again, anything that is happening is trying to liberate us to recreate scenarios in our lives, relationships and finances, specifically with Uranus being in Taurus, that are in alignment with our need to be liberated to grow authentically in alignment with our truth, to water our flowers as they are. So we have that. Next, the thing number 3 I want to talk about today, we have the sun at 9 degrees of Capricorn today, forming in exact square to Chiron at 9 degrees of Aries. Chiron, the wounded healer teacher archetype, the hero's journey, once again being activated. This aspect is likely to be triggering our wounds today, you guys, showing us what we still have left to heal. Remember, Chiron recently went direct, so we were also undergoing a very internalized healing process, a very internalized inner alchemization, but now Chiron is direct. And so now it's almost like we're experiencing outwardly where we are at in that healing process, in that hero's journey process, and what we have left to do. And also what behaviors we are exhibiting now as a result of this inner transformation, this inner alchemization that has been going on while Chiron was retrograde. So yeah, showing us what we still have left to heal, also where we are at on our hero's journey, and our circumstances, and what we have overcome, and have we risen into our personal mastery, or are we still operating out of a victim mentality? Are we still surrendering our power and allowing ourselves to be victimized, or are we stepping into our self-mastery and realizing that we are the creator of our own destiny and that no one else's treatment of us can truly hold us back unless we allow it to, and unless we surrender to the situations which keep us in those circumstances with those people that are impacting us that way. This is really trying to get us to come into a profound sense of self-mastery. So honestly, it's very, these 3 aspects in combination together, you guys, Mercury, Venus, Pluto in a combination, the moon opposite Uranus, square Saturn in Scorpio, while the sun is an exact conjunction with Chiron. These 3 aspects in particular, this is like the ultimate universal intervention for addictions and toxic relationships. If we could dial up God and say planet Earth needs an intervention for breaking addictions and getting out of toxic relationships where we don't realize our value and are surrendering our power to things that aren't good for us for external validation. Give us a solution, God. What do we need? God would say Venus, Mercury, Pluto conjunction, moon in Scorpio, opposite Uranus, square Saturn in Aquarius, and sun square Chiron on the same day. That should do the trick. So this is really like a powerhouse of triplicities of aspects and energetics going on in effect today that are really, really trying to break us out of our states of trauma that have kept us surrendering our power to things that aren't good for us, attracting these same scenarios so that we can finally have the conscious breakthrough, come back into our mental power, the power of our heart, step into our self-mastery and break through these habits, and so that we can free ourselves and overcome our circumstances. The hero's journey. It is all wrapped up today, and everything is just working towards the same cause, from every direction. It's really, from the cosmic perspective, it's really profound how this is all fitting together. And then there's more. I mean, this next aspect actually helps as well. We have Mars today we have Mars today at where? At 12 degrees of Sagittarius in an exact sextile to Saturn in Aquarius, the degree Mars 12 Sagittarius, a flag turns into an eagle that crows. This is again talking about metamorphosis, transformation, alchemizing from one state of things into another. But this aspect, Mars and Saturn in positive aspect together, this always helps us to put effort and energy towards our goals and objectives, fighting for what we believe in. Mars in Sagittarius, so that we can build something solid and enduring and long term in alignment with our truth and authenticity. Saturn in Aquarius. So this energy today is definitely supporting and helping us to have the strength and endurance to sort of overcome obstacles that we may be faced today in our pursuit of going on this like metamorphosis transformation with especially Pluto rules transformation. Mars is at the degree, a flag is seen turning into an eagle that crows. Like, it's all talking about the same thing. So we do have more support from Mars in the mix today, Mars and Saturn in the mix today as well. And we have made it to the end of the list of aspects, you guys. The last thing that I want to talk about today is Jupiter changing signs. Jupiter is moving into Pisces. This is a major energetic shift. Whenever, a planet changes signs, this changes, one of the ways that the energy inside of us is operating. And Jupiter, this is a big player planet right now, especially considering that we are actually still in the Sagittarius cycle for a few more days as we head towards the weekend when we have Sunday will be our new moon in Capricorn. So Jupiter is ruling all right now, actually moving to 1 degree of Pisces today, major energetic shift. This energy also, you guys, especially with Neptune currently in Pisces too, exposes lies and deception. So any lies and deception that managed to make it this far, which has not been an easy feat at this point in time, any lies or deception that is still hanging on is definitely coming to an end now that we've got Jupiter back in Pisces, moving towards the conjunction coming up this spring with Neptune. But 1 degree of Pisces, that Sabian symbol is a crowded public marketplace. And with Jupiter now at this degree, we may actually see people out in public being more active, more social, more ongoings, more commotion, more out and about. Now that we have this degree being discharged by Jupiter, expanding this energy at least this week, but potentially moving forward as well. So that's what we have going on today for all of the energetics in play. We are having a galactic intervention. God is giving us the vibrational support to break free from anything that is not in alignment with what we truly need and deserve in order to activate our authentic potential. And we just got a lot of shifts and changes going on. That active Uranus, shocks and surprises for sure. Sun square Chiron could be a very triggering day, you guys. I've underestimated that in this report. I talked more about it yesterday. But there also is, it could be a very harsh, painful day where we experience kind of a bit of cruelty. But again, with the Sun and square to Chiron, the way to use this energy is not to internalize it, but to use it as a gauge for how far we've come on our hero's journey process and what work we still have left to do. And we really, really want to try, especially with Venus retrograde in the conjunction to Pluto and Mercury, not to internalize this energy and, have a lot of really negative, harsh, cruel self-talk. We want to be really careful about the way that we are thinking, using our minds. Oh my God, you guys, we have to be so careful about the way that we are using our minds with this energy. And we really want to be careful about how we are thinking about and how we are communicating inwardly to ourselves, because we really need to be being very supportive and loving of ourselves right now as we go through this process, and not sabotaging ourselves through negative self-talk that is really diminishing our power and preventing us from doing what needs to be done at this point in time. So that's really what I wanted to say about the energetics today. I got a few more minutes. Let me talk quickly about the tarot. Now, I got a whole bunch of cards today. I was shuffling and, usually I only get a card or two, but today I got 5 plus the back of the deck. So I don't have time to talk about every single card. So I'm just going to talk about the general message and how they came out. First of all, we got the Strength card reversed, and then we got the 7 of Swords in reverse, and then we got the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and then we got the 7 of Pentacles And then we got the Four of Swords. And then on the back of the deck was the King of Wands. So to summarize this energy, this was basically telling me, you know, with these three cards, this was basically telling me that there's something has been stealing our strength and also our ability to activate our new opportunities, to start something new. And it's like, with these two cards on the back, the Seven of Pentacles, taking a harvest, taking our inventory, cutting our losses, and the Four of Swords, putting something to rest. The way that I'm really reading this combination of energetics in, you know, the context of the collective energy, I feel like this is not so much clarifying the collective energy today as kind of giving a message to us in the midst of all of these energetic activations that we have going on. This is really saying, and especially then with the King of Wands on the back, this is really saying that whatever has been stealing our strength and our power to move towards new opportunities for success must be accounted for, harvested, laid to rest. We need to count our losses and let something go, lay something to rest. We have to retire what has been stealing our power so that we can stand in the truth of our personal power and our personal creative self-expression and our manifestation potential with the King of Wands. The King of Wands at the back of the deck is basically saying that, like, we have all of this personal, creative, authentic potential to manifest whatever we want. But the message is that there has been something stealing our power, or stealing our strength and power and, you know, will and motivation and our ability to create fresh, brand new opportunities for material growth and abundance. And whatever that is needs to be cut off the vine and laid to rest so that we can come into this full, authentic, creative potential and manifestation ability, which is what we're doing with all of this energy today. So very interesting, that specific message in the context of what we have going on. Lots of cards to say that, but that is what the message, what they were saying. Let's draw a synchronicity card now, you guys. These synchronicity cards are wonderful little messages. They are by Jana Shellman. They are messages from God, and they are just meant to give us a little bit of guidance or clarity or inspiration or assistance or help, or just the message that, you know, an answer that we need to hear at this point in time. So we just need a message whenever you're watching this. This is a timeless little message, and let's just see what we get, what God wants us to know today to help us with these energies. All right. Stop fighting the situation, you guys. Oh, wow. That fits right in with the energetics. Stop fighting the situation. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. And with all of this Pluto energy right now, that could not be better advice. Don't fight or wage war in your own mind. The mind, y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. This just couldn't be more perfect. The enemy is a negative thought of fear, anger, hostility in your own mind. Don't act under the sway of negative emotions. Replace the negative thought with a positive one. Claim all the while that God is guiding you and giving you peace of mind. Seek spiritual guidance, read your Bible, or go to church, whatever church is for you. Wow, you guys, that is exactly what I've been saying. The mind is so powerful right now. We cannot be having negative thoughts at this point in time. Stop fighting the situation. That is a powerful, powerful, powerful message in the context of these energetics. Thank you for that. Thank you, Jana, for those cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments.